So according to Sandra Lillet in her article, U.S. population reached 52 million, but growth is from births, not immigration. She's telling us that population has reached 52 million, and she's also telling us that the Latino population now makes 17% of the nation's population. So specifically today I will be talking about the Mexican culture and how it identifies with me. So us Mexicans can relate because of the food that we eat, the beliefs that we have, and the certain events that we celebrate or certain, So the Mexican flag is just a symbol, and it's the representation that brings us, the Mexican community, together, and it helps us create this identity and the sense of belonging to one another. So by learning about the Mexican flag, we will understand not only the representation of the culture, but also the morals and beliefs that come within this culture. So the Mexican flag was created in 1821. The green represents independence. The red represents the Spaniards joining the quest for independence, and the white represents the purity of Catholic faith. So you're asking why the eagle and what the eagle and the snake represents. So it is said to believe that the gods told the Aztecs to establish their city when they saw an eagle eating a snake. So essentially, that's what it is. So not only does this Mexican flag have a definition to it, each stripe, but it also has, it brings people together. So us Mexicans are very prideful and very hardworking. We can see this in protests such as the one in downtown, where you see people coming together to protest such stuff like the immigration reform. This is an example of how people come together and how they support one another, even though there's fear of deportation. The community helps create this source of belonging and comfortable between one another. So I have generalized what the Mexican flag represents, and I will tell you how I specifically relate myself with this culture. So I grew up with two Mexican parents. I've been raised celebrating certain events such as Christmas, New Year's, quinceañeras. So all of this has created that foundation of what I believe in and what I essentially celebrate as well. So at these gatherings, I grew up eating pozole, birria, mole. So at these gatherings, not only was it a significance of family coming together, but it was also a learning experience growing up, because I was always forced by my grandparents and my dad to handshake everybody, even though you didn't know the person. It was a big family. You're like, did you handshake that person? Yes. It was always awkward. I don't know that person, but I did handshake them. So this has laid the foundation of me having respect towards other people, and me just in general greeting people once I meet them. So this is applied, the Mexican culture is applied to my everyday life, because the spicy food is always being served at the table, and how I always grow up with my mom screaming at me like, do your chores. Yes, and I also been growing up with like my parents, my grandpa, my grandma, my aunts, uncle, older cousins saying, don't get pregnant, go to school, because you don't want to be like, you don't want to end up like your parents, whatever that means. So this has laid the foundation of me having respect towards myself, and also establishing the goals that I want to achieve, just so that I don't end up like my parents. So now you have a better understanding about the flag and the certain beliefs that come with it. So the flag is a symbol of culture, and growing up, it has developed how I eat today, how I act today, and what I believe in today. The culture is one of many that exists in the United States. As we all know, we all come from a different place, and I want you guys all to look at each other and realize that there's a reason why we act and speak a certain way. We all have to realize that we're all here in one country, therefore we all have to support each other, because at the end of the day, we're all fighting for the same legal rights, even though our parents or our family are not from here.